class 11th. Today we are going to first recap about trigonometry, whatever we had done in the earlier chapter. I have drawn two axes, x-axis, y-axis, and we are going to discuss. We have designated line O to x as 1, O to y as 2, O to x dash as 3 and O to y dash as 4. Because your line will start from here, either we can go to anti-clockwise direction, that is positive direction, or we can come into the anti-clockwise direction, which is negative direction. Both ways it can be done, there is no problem. But I am going to start with anti-clockwise first, and we have written even multiples of pi will fall along line 1. Like it starts with 0, then it goes 2 pi, 4 pi, 6 pi, and so on. These are even multiples of pi. Odd multiples of pi, like 3 pi, 3 pi, then it will be 5 pi, 7 pi, and so on, will fall along this line. Line 3. Multiples of pi by 2 will come on either on line 2 or line 4. The thing which you have to remember clearly is that when the points or angles are falling along line 1 or 3, there is no change. Sin theta will remain sin theta. Cos theta will remain cos theta, tan theta will remain tan theta. But if we are going along this line, y-axis, then sin will change to cos. This is along 1 and 3, and sin theta will change to cos theta, and accordingly other trigonometric ratios along 2 and 4 lines. Now it says odd multiples of pi will fall along 3, multiples of pi by 2 will fall along line 2 and 4. Now let us see, along line 2 we say 4n plus 1 into pi by 2, and along line 4 we say 4n plus 3 pi by 2. These are odd multiples of pi by 2. The method is that whatever multiple of pi by 2 is given, and if we have to find whether it is falling along line 2 or it is going to fall along line 4, what we do is that we divide the number by 4. If the remainder comes out 1, it will fall along line 2. If the remainder comes out 3, it will fall along line 4. Line 2, it will fall along line 2, and if remainder is coming out to be 3, it will fall along line 4. For example, if it is 73 pi by 2, now I have to find out that where is it going to lie, this pi by 2. I am not going to rotate and 73 times and see that where is it going to fall, because the generating line can take as many as revolutions as it wants. We have to find out where does this 73 pi by 2 lie. The method is divide 73 by 4. Even if the last number you divide by 4, you will get one remainder. You get one remainder. 73, I'll just show you. 4 ones are 4, 33, 4 eights are 32. So your remainder is 1. So it is going to fall along line 2. This is going to fall along line 2. It will be on line 2. So you can find out what will be the value. It will be falling along line 2. And if the remainder is 3, for example, if I would have divided something 73 by 4 and remainder was coming 3, then it would have fallen along line 4. For example, if I take 118 pi by 2, if I take 118 pi by 2, what will happen? 118 if you divide by 4, No, it will cancel anyway, because 118 is 2, 2 5 is 10, and 2 5 is 10, 2 9 is 18. So it will cancel. So there is no question of, because it is an even number. But let us take 123. 123 pi by 2. If I divide it by 4, 3 remainder will be left. Remainder will be left 3. So it will fall along line 4. It will fall along line 4. Now we had discussed this also, that along line 1 sine theta is 0, because sine 0 is always 0. If sine is 0, then 10 will be 0. Why? Because tan theta is sine theta upon cos theta. Sine theta upon cos theta. And if sine is 0, then 10 will automatically become 0. So along line 1, sine theta is 0, tan theta is 0. Now just remember, the reciprocal of sine is cosec. 1 upon cosec means 1 upon 0. That will be not defined. So cosec theta is not defined. As well as reciprocal of tan is cot theta. So cot theta is also not defined along this line. Along line 1, cot theta is not defined also. Sine theta is 0, tan theta is 0. Cosec theta is not defined, cot theta is not defined. What about cos theta? Cos 0 is 1, cos 0 is 1, so obviously sec will be 1, 2, because cos and sec are reciprocal of each other, like sine and cosec were. Because if sine was 0, cosec was not defined. Now next is along line 2. That means on this direction where we are having pi by 2. We are having pi by 2. Now on this line, sine theta is 1. Sine 90 is 1. Sine theta, sine 90 is 1. Sine 90 is 1. The reciprocal of sine is 1 upon cosec. That will be 1, 2. Cosec is 1 upon sine theta. So cosec will be 1, 2. Cos along this line, or 2 or 4, is 0. Odd multiples of pi by 2 are always 0. So cos theta is 0. If cos theta is 0, then sec theta will be not defined. Sec theta, because 1 upon cos will become sec. So sec theta will not be defined. Cot is 0 because cos upon sine. Cot theta is cos upon sine. So cot theta will be 0 too. And if cot theta is 0, tan theta will not be defined. On the basis of these two, we can write it. Like sine theta was 0, sine theta will be 0 along this line also, on the opposite side. Tan theta will be 0, cosec theta will be not defined, cot theta will be not defined. Here cos theta was 1, here cos theta will become minus 1. Sec theta will become minus 1. Similarly, from line 2, we can get the line 4. Sin theta was 1 along line 1, along line 2, sin theta will be minus 1 along line 4. Cosec theta was 1 along line 2, cosec theta will be minus 1 along line 4. Similarly, cos theta is 0, cos theta is 0, cot theta is 0, cot theta is 0, sec theta is not defined, sec theta is not defined, tan theta is not defined, tan theta is not defined. Now we have given you certain values and we have to find out along which line do they fall along. Like they will fall along line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4. Let us see. We said this along the line 1 we have even multiples of pi. Even multiples of pi. Along line 3 we have odd multiples of pi. So 31 pi is obviously an odd multiple of pi. It will fall along line 3. It will fall along line 3. It is an odd multiple of pi. If I have 73 pi by 2, it is multiple of pi by 2, an odd multiple of pi by 2. Now what is the question? 73 we divided by 4, we got the remainder as 1, and we said when we get the remainder 1, then what happens is it will fall along line 2. Along line One thing more, if it was negative, it was if 73 pi by 2 suppose. If it was minus 73 pi by 2, then what happens is, forget about the minus, divided by 4, you will get again the remainder 1, but change it to, because of negativity, you change it to line 4. If with negative sign the remainder is coming 1, then it is going to fall along line 4. Along line 4. It will fall along line 4. If the sign is changed, because 73 pi is up, pi by 2 is up, so minus 73 pi by 2 will be down. If it is 80 pi is obviously an even multiple of pi, it will fall along line 1. Why are we doing it? Because it will be easier for you to find out corresponding angles. Line 1. Like we said, minus 59, we had given minus 118 pi by 2, so 2 will cancel, it will become minus 59 pi. It is an odd multiple, of pi by pi, so it will fall along here. Line 3. Now let us see minus 123 pi by 2. If it is 123 pi by 2, then if you divide it, it is minus, remember, forget about the minus for the time being, divide by 4, you will get the remainder 3. If remainder 3 comes, then it falls along line 4. But because it is minus, so it will fall in the opposite direction. If it was falling along line 4, now it will fall along line 2. It will fall along line 2. And if it is 1025 pi by 2, divide the last two digits by 4, 4 6 is 24, we will get one remainder, it will fall along line 2. If the positive are there, if the positive values are there with pi by 2, simply if one remainder comes after dividing by 4, the value will fall along line 2. If 3 remainder comes, it will fall along line 4. And if negative is there, then the things will change. If negative is there, so when 1 remainder will come, it will fall along line 4. When 3 remainder will come, it will fall along line 2. If it is negative there. If it is negative with pi by 2. Okay, let us now, next step is how to find the values. How to find the values like this sine 120, cos 150, tan 135, angle becomes bigger and bigger. So sine 120, for example, if I have to find sine 120, there are two ways of doing it. I can write it as 90 plus 30. Sine 90 plus 30. I can write it sine 90 plus 30 because 90 plus 30 will also make 120. Or I can write sine 180 minus 60. We generally try and express the angle in terms of multiple of 90 or 180 or 360. For example, when I am writing 120, it is a smaller angle. I can write sine 90 plus 30. 90 plus 30 is 120. Or I can write sine 180 minus 60. First, let me explain it with sine 90 plus 30. Sine 90 plus theta is what? Sine 90 plus theta, you know, you have add sugar to coffee. You have add sugar to coffee. 90 plus theta means this angle is going to come into second quadrant. This angle is going to come into second quadrant and sine changes to cos. Sine changes to cos when 90 plus theta is there. We told you that along this line when we change, we take 90 or multiples of pi by 2, then sine changes to cos. So it will change to cos. Cos 30. It will become cos 30. And sine is positive. Sine is positive. Sine is positive. We take the left hand side. We don't take the right hand side what it is converting into. We take only the left hand side. Like we are talking of sine 120, sine 90 plus theta. So we take this, the sign of this will come, not of this. Sine changes to cos, and sine is plus in this. Sine and cosec are plus, the rest are negative. So sine 90 plus theta will be cos 30. And what is the value of cos 30? Root 3 upon 2. So sine 120 will be root 3 upon 2. Or sine 120, I have told you, could have been written as sine 180 minus 30. Sine 180 minus 30. Sine 180 minus 30. So it will fall where? 180 minus 60, not 30. It will be sine 180 minus 60 because we have to get 120. So sine 180 minus 60 will come again into this second quadrant, and sine 180 minus theta is sine theta only. It will remain sine 60, and it is sine, so it will remain positive. The value of sine 60 is root 3 upon 2. So whether you use this or this, the value remains the same. The value remains root 3 upon 2. Whether I take 90 plus 30 or take 180 minus 30, you can take any one of them. So sine 120 can be written as 90 plus 30. Generally we try this angle to be acute angle, but if it is greater than acute also doesn't matter, it will adjust later. Like I have written 10 495 as 360 plus 135. 360 plus 135, it comes 10 135. Again I will adjust it as 180 something or 90 something. Let us see the next question. Like it is cos 150. Cos 150. It could be simply written as cos 180 minus 30. It can be written as 90 plus 60 also, there is no problem. Cos 180 minus 30, you must see which quadrant it is falling. It is going to fall in the second quadrant. And in the second quadrant, what happens? Cos is negative. It is cos 150. It is falling in the second quadrant, and cos in the second quadrant is negative. So it will become minus cos 30. It will become minus cos 30. In the second quadrant, only sine and cosec are positive, the rest are negative. What is the value of cos 30? Again, cos 30 is minus root 3 upon 2. So the value of this cos 150 is minus root 3 upon 2. It is minus root 3 upon 2. I could have done 90 plus 60 also. As I told you, it will again fall into second, and of course cos will change into sine 60 minus sine 60, and again the value will be root 3 upon 2 only. Now let us see question number 3, 10 135. 10 135. Again 10, I can write 90 plus 45. I can write 180 minus something also. I am writing 90 plus 45. We should try and see that this angle should have the value which we should know. We should know. So 90 plus 45 will give you 135, and we know what is the value of 10 or cot 45. 10 90 plus 45 means where is it going to fall? Again it is going to go to the second quadrant. And in the when it is 90 plus something, so it will change to cot. It will change to cot 45, and it will become minus. Why? Because 10 is negative in the second quadrant. In second quadrant only sine and cosec are positive, the rest of the trigonometric ratios are negative. So 10 90 plus 45 will become minus cot 45, and cot 45 is what? Minus 1. Cot 45 is 1, and it is minus 1 because sine 45 is 1 by root 2. Cos 45 is also 1 by root 2. When you divide the value of sine cos 45 by cos 45, you will get 1. So cot 45 is 1 and negative sign was there, so it will become negative 1. Now let us see further. Cosec 330. Fourth one is cosec 330. Cosec 330. Now it is very obvious, 360 minus 30. I can write 330, 360 minus 30. Cosec 360 minus 30 will give me the value of 330. It will give me 330. 360 minus 30 is 330. And it is going to fall in which quadrant? It is going to fall in the fourth quadrant. Why fourth quadrant? Because you will take a round here, it will become 360 here, and then you are subtracting 30 from it. So you come into the fourth quadrant. 360, you have taken the complete round, and then you are subtracting 360 minus 30. So you are again coming into the fourth quadrant. You are coming because you are subtracting from that. If it was 360 plus 30, it would have gone into the first quadrant, but 360 minus 30 comes into the fourth quadrant. And in the fourth quadrant, only cos and sec are positive, the rest are negative. And because it is multiple of 360, multiple of 180, so it will come what? The same. It will remain cosec only. It will remain cosec 30, but it will become minus cosec 30. Remember, the value, the sign is taken from here, not from the right side. Even it becomes cosec, or it would have become something else. We have to choose the sign that from the left hand side, not of the right hand side. So cosec 30. Cosec 30 is minus 2. Why? Because sin 30 is 1 upon 2. The reverse will become that. Is that clear? Okay. Now the next is the fifth one. Fifth one, he writes sec minus 300. Sec minus 300. Now there are different methods. I prefer the method in which what I will do is I will change sec minus theta. Now sec minus theta, all these like sine minus theta, cos minus theta, tan minus theta, all these will come to the fourth quadrant. They follow the fourth quadrant property. Now in the fourth quadrant, only cos and sec are positive. So sec minus theta will be what? Sec minus theta will be sec theta itself. Sec minus theta will be sec theta. So it will become sec 300. It will become sec 300. If suppose it was the value was in such a way, the trigonometric ratio is given in such a way that it might have changed the sign, we would have brought it outside. There is no problem in that. But sec 300. Now sec 300 again, I'll do sec 360 minus 60. 360 minus 60, again where is it going to come? It's again going to come into the fourth quadrant. It is going to come into the fourth quadrant and it will become sec 60 only. It will become sec 60. Cos 60 is 1 upon 2. So again it will become 2. It will become 2. The value of sec minus 300 will become 2. That is how we are going to proceed. For example, he has given cot 1140. Cot 1140. Now you need to divide it by 360. You have got calculator and you will be able to see that multiples of what can we use. Like cot 340 is cot 3 into 360. Cot 3 into 360. 1080. 3 6 are 18, 3 3 are 9, 110, 1080, and it was 40. So we have added how much? We have added 60 to it. If we add 60 to it, it will become 1140. So plus we have added 60. It could be bigger angle than 1140. It could be in thousands or even in 10,000s. You will divide it by 360 and see that how many multiples it is you are getting, so that it can go around. It can go around. It can keep moving. You can keep getting the values as many as you want. So cot 3 into 360 plus 60, again this cot will remain cot only. Cot will remain cot only because it is going to come into which quadrant? In the first quadrant. 3 into 360, it has taken complete 3 rounds, and plus 60 it comes into the first quadrant, and in the first quadrant we don't change the sign. We don't change the sign. So cot 60 it will remain, and it remains plus only because everything, all trigonometric ratios are plus in the first quadrant. So cot 60, the value of cot 60 is what? What is 1060? 1060 is root 3. Cot 60 will be 1 upon root 3. Cot 60 will be 1 upon root 3. Now let us see after this seventh question, cosec minus 1410. Cosec minus 1410. First of all, I'll remove this negative sign. Now cosec is going to, cosec minus theta will be minus cosec theta. It will be minus cosec theta. Keep it minus cosec 1410. Now let us see that cosec 1410 is what? It says minus cosec 4 into 360 minus 30. It will become 1440. No, 4 6 are 24. 4 6 are, it is 1410, not 10. It is 1410. So 1440. If you multiply 360 into 4, you get 1440, and if you subtract 30, you will get 1410. So cosec, because it is multiples of 360, so cosec will remain cosec. It will become minus cosec 30. It will become minus, it was already minus, and it is coming into which quadrant? It is again coming into fourth quadrant, and it will become minus again. So it will become plus cosec 30, and sin 30 is 1 upon 2, so cosec 30 will be plus 2. Cosec 30 will be plus 2. Why add sugar to coffee? Here only cos and sec are positive, the rest are negative. So it is going to fall into this quadrant. Cosec, this will become minus cosec 30, and already minus was there. That is why it became plus, and that is how we get the value plus 2. Now let us see 10, 11 pi by 4. 10, 11 pi by 4. Simple way is pi by 4 is 45. So you multiply 11, 10 into 11 into 45. You get 10. 495. You get 495. So 495, how are you going to put it? How are you going to put it? You can put it 360 plus something. 495 is, if I subtract 360, I'll get 5, 135. So I'll write it 10, 360 plus 135. We told you that it should be a an acute angle. It should be an acute angle, but does not matter even if it is not an acute angle. Treat it the same way as an acute angle, and finally it will adjust itself. Tan 360 plus theta, it will fall in what? Tan 360 plus 1, it will fall in the first quadrant. So it will remain tan 135. And tan 135 is 90 plus 45. 90 plus 45. Now 90 plus 45 will fall into second quadrant, where tan will change to first of all cot, and it will change to minus cot 45. Why minus cot 45? Because here only sine and cosec are positive, the rest are negative. So minus cot 45 means minus 1. The value of tan 11 pi by 4 is minus 1. Now let us see the next one. Sec minus 23 pi by 3. First of all, it will be in the fourth quadrant, and what is in the fourth quadrant? Cos and sec are, cos minus theta remains cos theta, and opposite of cos is sec, so sec minus theta will remain sec theta, so it will become sec 23 pi by 3 only. Multiply, pi by 3 is 60, pi by 3 is 60, so sec 23 into 60 will give you sec 1380. 1380. He says it can be sec 4 into 360. 4 into 360 is 1440, because 36 into 4 is 1440. So 1440, and you get 1380. That means you have to subtract. We are subtracting 60 from it. We are subtracting 60 from it to get 1380. To get 1380, sec this minus theta will remain sec 60 only, and it will remain positive because cos and sec are positive there. And sec is opposite of cos. Cos 60 is what? Cos 60 is 1 upon 2, so sec 60 will be 2. We are on the same series of finding out the values of trigonometric angles, like it is cosec 35 upon pi into pi by 6. Pi by 6 is 30. Pi by 6 in terms of degrees, it will be 30. So 35 into 30, 1050. Cosec 1050 we have written as cosec 360 into 3, that will be 1080 minus 30. 360 into 3 is 1080. There are certain numbers you have to remember. 36 into 4, 36 into 3, 36 into 5, so that it will be easier for you to apply that. Now 36 into 3 is 108, 1080, and from that if I subtract 30, I get cosec 1050. Now as I told you that if we look at this, add sugar to coffee, this 360 into 3 minus 30 will fall in the fourth quadrant, because 3 rounds of 360 will come here, and then again it goes back, so it will be in the third quadrant. In the fourth quadrant. In the fourth quadrant, cosec is negative. Only cos and sec are positive, the rest are negative. So 360 into 3 will be 1080, minus 30 will give you 1050. But cosec theta will be minus cosec theta, minus cosec 30. Sin 30 is 1 upon 2, so cosec 30 will be just the reverse, that will be minus 2. The value of cosec 35 upon 5 pi by 6, 35 pi by 6 will be minus 2. Sin 194. Sin 194, I can write sin 180 plus 14. Sin 180 plus 14. So 180 and plus 14, it will come into third quadrant. In the third quadrant, sign is negative, so it will come minus sine 14. Now we don't know the value of sine 14 off the table, so we'll have to look what are the values in the table and we can write the value of sine 14. Similarly, sine 348. Sine 348, 360 minus 12. 360 minus 12 means it falls into the fourth quadrant because it takes one complete round 360, then comes back into the fourth quadrant. 360 minus 12 will be, sign will be negative, that will be minus sine 12. Again, sine 12 you can see from the natural sine tables. Cos 189, 180 plus 9. 180 is this and plus 9 means it will come into the third quadrant, and in the third quadrant only 10 and cot are positive, the rest are negative, so it will be minus cos 9. It will be minus cos 9 degree, and you can see the value of cos 9 degree from the natural cosine tables. Now it is cos minus 1785. So first of all, in the fourth quadrant, cos minus theta is cos theta, so it converts cos 1785. Cos 1785, 5 into 360 minus 15. 5 into 360 will be how much? 5 6 are 30, 5 6 are 30, 5 3 are 15, 1800. It will be 1800. From 1800 if you subtract 15 you will get 1785. So again it is going to fall into the fourth quadrant, and in the fourth quadrant cos is positive, so it will become cos 15. It will become cos 15. The value of cos 15 can be seen from the natural tables. 3598, 3598, 3600 minus something. 36, 10 into 360 will be 3600, 3600 minus 2 will be 3598, and it will again fall into the fourth quadrant. Here again it is minus, so it will come minus 10, 2 degree. Again we can see it from the natural tables, natural tangent tables. Now I have cot minus 1952. I have cot minus 1952. Again, it will come into the fourth quadrant. Fourth quadrant only cos and sec are positive. So cot will become what? Negative minus cot 1952. 360 into 5. 360 into 5 plus 152. So we said generally it should be an acute angle, but don't worry if it is not an acute angle, it will adjust itself. It will become minus cot 152. Now again we will arrange 152. You can do 90 plus something, but you can do 180 minus. If you subtract 52, what will you get? 10 to 8 and 7, 5, 2. So 28. So 180 minus 28. It will become cot 180 minus 28. Now again it will be in the second quadrant. In the second quadrant, sine and cosec are positive, the rest are negative. So that means cot 180 minus 28 will be minus cot 28, and it is already minus, so it will become plus cot 28. It will become cot 28. You can see the value of the cot 28 from the natural cotangent tables. Cosec minus 7498. Again it will become a cosec. Cosec theta is coming in the fourth quadrant. Cosec minus theta. So it will become minus cosec theta because in the fourth quadrant only cos and sec are positive, the rest are negative. So cosec minus theta will be minus cosec theta, and 21 into 360 minus 62. So it will be minus. Now it is falling again in the fourth quadrant. So because 360 21 times and then comes back into the quadrant, so minus it will become, so it will become cosec 62 plus, and 62 value can be seen from the natural cosecant table. Sec 210. Sec 210 is sec 180 plus theta. Sec 180 plus theta will remain sec 30, but it is in the third quadrant. It is in the third quadrant. So add sugar to coffee. So in the third quadrant only 10 and cotangent are positive, the rest are negative, so it will become minus sec 30. The question is cos 30 is what? Cos 30 is root 3 upon 2, so it will be minus 2 upon root 3. Then I have sine 855. Sine 855 is sine, it is sine not sec. It is sine 2 into 360 will be 720. 720 plus 135 will give you this. So it will come into which quadrant? The first quadrant. I told you that this angle may be bigger than acute angle, but it will adjust. It will come out to be sine 135, and then I can write sine 180 minus what? 90 plus 45 I can write. I can write even 90 plus 45. 90 plus 45 will be 135. So sine 90 plus theta is cos theta. Sine 90 plus theta is cos theta. And sine is positive in the second quadrant, so it will become cos 45. The value of cos 45 is 1 upon root 2. The values of these angles are known, 45 and things, but 9, 12, 14 are not known, so you will find them from the natural log tables. Sine 4530 is sine 13 into 360. You must be saying, how am I doing? You have to do it with your calculator. Then how many times maximum 360 you will try? 360 into 10 is 3600. It is much more than that. You will go 11, you will go 12, you will go 13. So 13 into 360 minus 150, even then it is not an acute angle, but should not bother. It will come into the fourth quadrant, and in the fourth quadrant it is negative, so minus sine 150. Minus sine 150, I can write minus sine 180 minus 30, because 180 minus 30 will give you 150. 180 minus 30 falls back into second quadrant, and in second quadrant it is sine is positive, so it will remain minus sine 30, and the value of sine 30 is 1 upon 2. So these are around about 20 questions which I have explained to you about the different values. You can do some work yourself also, and then we will proceed further.